The return leg of the Spanish Supercup. Real Madrid, the league champions, with players like Redondo, Victor and Šuker. Against the cup winners, Barcelona, with Oscar, Amor and Stoichkov. It's another big football fiesta on Eurosport. The Spanish Supercup second leg, Real Madrid versus Barcelona.
Football on a brilliant night, and one hopes that Real and Barcelona will rise to the occasion. Now beside me, I have former England international Trevor Steven. Trevor, who's also played, of course, club football for Marseille, Everton, and his last club, Glasgow Rangers. Well, we were in the stadium for the final of the Cup. We saw Barcelona win it. And it was won, I think, in the last 20 minutes of that game, was it not, with brilliant play, especially by Figo, the Portuguese international, Trevor.
Yeah, we don't know actually if Figo's going to be playing tonight, so we'll look forward to getting his selection, because he certainly was one of the top players in the Spanish Cup final. So let's hope he's included.
Wonderful look at the stadium there. Loud whistles and roars as the Barcelona team comes out here. And I did say to you, it's not as if they're joining with fraternal greetings in the background. But they're all experienced players and are used to this, Trevor.
Yeah, it's a big occasion nonetheless. It's certainly the curtain raiser to the domestic scene, if you like, in Spain. And what bigger game could you have than to be Barcelona pitted against Real Madrid? And
well, you can see that Figo plays tonight at number 7, and Sonny Anderson at number 9, the Brazilian. There he is, going to the left there.
That's good to see Figo in the side. He was quite exceptional in the Spanish Cup final against Real Betis, and it's good to see him. Amaniki is not playing tonight. He played in the first game, and literally a straight swap between Figo and Amaniki.
So Figo plays. Here's the Real Madrid team coming out. Right at the back there, you see Roberto Carlos. That's the Brazilian who was involved in that terrible incident. He was lucky the damage was not as serious as it first seemed. Well, compared to the last game, Ferrer is in for Guardiola. And there's Real Madrid. Cañizares, Panucci is back in, as I mentioned. Hierro back to the side after missing that first game. Karanka, who's outstanding apart from his handling. Roberto Carlos. Guti, who came on as a substitute for Jaime in the first game. It was quite outstanding. The hair flays away behind him as he goes upfield. He's very fleet of foot. So I think that will add a little spice. There's Figo explaining something or other to Sonny Anderson. Sonny Anderson, who scored a goal for in his first game for Brazil. Well, Zé Roberto is on. So Amavisca and Jaime are out, and there we are. But very much the same pattern, Trevor.
Yeah, well, wherever you look, it's quality players, and Barcelona have spent expansively during the summer, and you can look at the players who are on the bench who are quite outstanding. You've got Fernando Couto there, for instance, who obviously didn't feature in the first game due to international duty, but he still hasn't been able to get into the side tonight.
Well, Guti is 14 and Zé Roberto 21, both playing tonight, both younger players. Guti, I thought, was quite excellent when he did come on. And I'm quite sure we'll also see as a substitute Guardiola playing out of position. So the referee coming across here to start this game, as I did point out the impassive nature of Louis van Gaal. Heynckes Well, I didn't quite see him there, Heynckes, even though the captain did come up. He's disappeared for some reason. Zé Roberto, other Brazilian player, young Brazilian player, not with a great track record so far. And getting ready, and this man, I'm sure, will want to perform well now. Zé Roberto himself has been quoted in the Spanish newspapers as saying he wants to forget everything. He feels that there is a racialist element in the Barcelona support who booed him every time he touched the ball in a league game last season, and he did admit he lost his head and retaliated against one or two of the Barcelona players, and hence I think that was why the support in particular in Barcelona remembered that. No excuse, of course, for that infamous incident. Playing on that right hand side, trying to play it down the side for Real Madrid, Panucci. Well, I think they'll take a good, long, hard look at each other. That's going to be a free kick, although there did seem to be a falling back by Mijatović. Nicely turned inside, and that was Seedorf. Did get a little bit of space, Clarence Seedorf. Looking up very quickly and then letting fly. Ex-Ajax player, well known to his opposing coach tonight, Louis van Gaal, came through the Ajax academy, if you like, then went to Sampdoria. He's won everything, Clarence Seedorf, in football, including the Champions League. Nice steady build up here. Roberto Carlos. Hierro. He'll try the long one, and it almost gets through. Well, he appreciated that very much. That was Mijatović with Ferrer coming in. I said Ferrer playing in the position that Guardiola played in the first game. Guardiola moved out of that position, so Ferrer in place of Guardiola.
Yeah, I think you're going to see Ferrer tracking Mijatović as much as possible tonight, because for me, Mijatović really sets things going for Madrid up front.
That's a beautiful ball by Figo. Look at the space across here as Sonny Anderson picked it up, and it comes and hooked away. Roberto Carlos brilliantly filling that little vacuum that appeared. And that was a great counter-attack,
yeah,
Trevor.
You'll see Roberto Carlos do that all the time. He's always going to fill in the holes that appear in the Real Madrid defence, and you're guaranteed that it's going to be him that's going to appear in these little holes.
Was knocked back there and pushed away again by Panucci. Christian Panucci. Brought here originally by dint of the enormous amount of money that Real Madrid have at their disposal. Fabio Capello, of course, the engineer in that. As I said, he's not got a track record yet, this young man, the new man in the side, Zé Roberto. There's Sonny Anderson, 51 goals in 3 seasons for Monaco, this man, right in the middle of the picture there. He's a delicate kind of player. One wonders if the rough and tumble of a more difficult league than the French league, with respect to my French colleagues, might be a test for him. But here, Šuker with the right foot, and it's just away. Well, that was unusual there. And it does show you that running through the middle was Raúl, and the places were reversed, Trevor.
Yeah, Raúl's quite prepared to make those runs, and he's got a good engine on him, and you see him flying through the middle of the Barcelona defence there. Hadn't quite been tracked, and if that ball had been slightly less strong, then he would have ended up with it, and possibly that would have been the perfect start for Madrid.
But Šuker using his right foot, one for the book. Certainly trying these longish balls, almost missing out midfield, Trevor.
He's certainly not afraid to do that. the game's only been going 4 to 5 minutes, and they've already played 3 or 4 long balls from the back.
Well, you had a very brief glimpse there of Heynckes, the 52-year-old coach, German international, and well acquainted with Spanish football, with his experience with the other clubs. Nice, bright start to this game all the same. And the emphasis, of course, on the football. When you look down at that score sheet, Raúl, Mijatović and Šuker at the halfway stage last season in the Spanish league, that trio had scored no less than 26 goals between them. That's a formidable task force up front. That was Figo trying to get that down. Oh, there it goes. That's the first eruption now. As I said, they've been at great pains to put the emphasis on the skill and the technique in the game, and the crowd at the back rushing down to show their anger to the fence there. That, I'm sure, was quite accidental. It was Hierro going up there.
You can tell there's no love lost here at all. Any chance of a physical challenge, and both sides are racing into them, and Hierro had the opportunity to wrestle there with Sonny Anderson, and didn't waste his opportunity. He wrapped his arms around him, tried to pull his head off.
I just got the impression that Roberto Carlos might have made just a little bit much of that with his dive, but else something might have come off. Oh, Hesp concedes a corner kick. And quite honestly, I think that might have been the better option for them there, because I don't really think he realised, Trevor, where he could put the ball.
Yeah, he was a bit indecisive there, but he didn't fill me with a great deal of confidence in the first leg, and he's got a big act to follow in Vitor Baye.
Ball swinging in again. Well, Giovanni up there, coming right back to defend. Heynckes looking just a little bit anxious. Šuker. That great left foot of his. That's to the near post. Just take it away. Guardiola, cool as ever. Oh, they're challenging very quickly. That was when Karanka came up. I think that might be a free kick. And I get the feeling, Trevor, that the referee might have to flourish a card very shortly.
Yeah, that's... I wouldn't say it's a bookable offence, to be quite honest, but it was definitely a foul. Šuker just caught the Achilles tendon there. I think it was Ferrer. But yeah, he's going to be active tonight, there's no doubt about it.
Well, in a competitive game, Trevor, wouldn't you prefer a referee? And we know, of course, that this is a tinderbox now. Could this be the way to do it, you know, to stamp his authority very quickly, a quick booking?
Well, there's two ways of looking at it, isn't there? There's sometimes you get a counter reaction there, and if he sets a precedent that's set perhaps too low, then he's got to end up booking 6 players by half time, and then, you know, that's always dangerous. You can end up with 9 players aside, and nobody wants to see that. So I think it's always wise, unless it's, you know, completely clear that it was a bookable offence, and you know, let the referee, you know, give the benefit of doubt to players for a while.
Oh, that was late. Clarence Seedorf, well, was that a bookable offence?
I think that's exactly what I'm talking about. There's the obvious one, and if he doesn't go in the book, then, well, there you are. That's him in the book, and let's hope that's not the first of many.
Well, we've seen the needle and the bruising encounters so far. I hope it just remains at that level. Having said all of that, Trevor, nevertheless, it's good to see again when there is commitment.
Well, there is a trophy to play for here, and the rivalry and the almost hatred that exists between the two clubs. There's always going to be something in the game, and you know, there you go. That's a fine example of what it's all about.
I just wonder if that's nerves. You know, just he's not in control of himself. He's just a little bit too much of the adrenaline pumping with Seedorf. Having said that, he's a very experienced player.
These are always going to be nervy games anyway, but you know, to be honest, it's only the Spanish Super Cup, but that means everything to these two teams tonight, and they're going to give it all.
That's Figo, almost getting away from Roberto Carlos. A brilliant little touch there. Giovanni almost getting through the Brazilian. Hierro going down. Appeals by the crowd, I think, for the referee to intervene there, but the play goes on. Just get in. Thank you very much. Give it away. Roberto Carlos had come forward. Now Seedorf. Very intense, the play in midfield. Beautifully picked up there all the same. Rivaldo with a longer ball. Sonny Anderson. Brilliantly tackled again. Karanka coming right across. It looks pretty good, Trevor.
Yeah, he's a strong player, and he covers the ground very quickly indeed, and he had to be his best there.
The trouble is, this game is now, the flow of the game is being interrupted by niggling fouls and some blatant ones as well.
Yeah, there's no patient football in it, is there? It's helpful leather stuff, and who can get the ball forward fastest, and no pattern to the game as yet, but you know, that will develop.
Šuker just a little bit slow going there. Giovanni. Sergi. Look at Sonny Anderson in the box at the moment. Normally he's a very elusive player, wonderful at running away from markers, hasn't got away from Karanka yet. Here's Figo. Well, I think he gets a corner kick, but the only flaw about Figo, or is it? He certainly thinks it is. Yes, I think they've got a corner. The only flaw about Figo, as you could see it there, Trevor, he doesn't have that little burst of pace at the end of his moves.
When he's up against somebody like Roberto Carlos, you know, you need an extra bit of pace, and you know, he'll do well to get a few crosses in this evening, but he won't give up, that's for sure, and he'll constantly give Barcelona the width on the right-hand side. That's
Rivaldo right in the middle of the picture there, and the goalkeeper right out to that. Cañizares. Roberto Carlos in sharp as a needle, hitting that free kick which you probably saw in the Tournoi de France, which I think is one of the great free kicks of all time, and I'm quite sure if he gets the opportunity here tonight, you'll see something really special. Curiously enough, that was only his second ever international goal in that tournament, which is surprising given the artillery he has. Plenty of space for Barca at the back. They seem to be in control of this game in midfield at the moment. It's Rivaldo. Sergi trying to give support. The left-hand side, Sergi is very, very quick, of course. Rivaldo, the man they signed for £15 million. It even staggered the people in Barcelona. Came from Deportivo La Coruña via Corinthians and Palmeiras.
A lot of pressure, of course, on Rivaldo because he's stepping into the shoes of Ronaldo. You know, a big money buy like that is always going to attract pressure, but when you're replacing one of the Barcelona heroes, then you've really got your work cut out. But certainly impressed me in the first leg, and he's fairly unorthodox. He's quite a lanky looking player, and he's got a lot of strength on the left hand side, and himself and Sergi on the left hand side offer a great deal of forward thrust, don't they, for Barcelona.
He certainly came on to a very much better game in the second half in the first match. Seemed to be finding his bearings. Abelardo getting rid of that. Trying to play it safe. By the way, poor Abelardo in the team tonight, he scored the own goal against Skonto Riga. The Latvian side, who performed creditably by losing only 3-2. And that's the Champions League qualifier, so I think he'll be trying to redeem himself tonight. Ball broken up, and Giovanni just wanting to hand the ball to the referee. Giovanni had a remarkable game last year in this tournament. Scored a couple of beautiful goals. And of course this game is treated, well, here he is. Here's the moment I think the Madrid supporters have been waiting for. Revenge.
Surely not from there.
He'll try. Well, he was trying, but well off target that time. I think he was trying to impart a lot of curl in it, give him the benefit of the doubt, Trevor.
He was prepared to have a go anyway, which is always good to see. And you know, if you've scored a goal of the quality of the one he scored for Brazil, then, you know, why not have a go at it? And it's certainly something the fans love to see.
Well, Hesp taking all the time in the world. Hesp, a very lucky man, Hesp. 32 years of age. He won the cup with Roda at the end of the season. Thought his career was coming to an end, or at least in the twilight of it. And suddenly Van Gaal, leaving Holland, decided to take the Dutchman with him. Actually surprised my Dutch commentating colleague, Hans Kraai, who himself was a coach of both Ajax and PSV. He didn't think that Hesp was all that outstanding to come into Spanish football at this stage, even as a kind of understudy. There's Mijatović. Ferrer.
I mentioned that earlier, that Ferrer's not going to be very far from Mijatović all night, and that's another indication of it.
I like the kind of calm way they run away after that. He knew he was going down the side of the leg there. So, Roberto Carlos again. Well, he's had a little warm-up. The last one, a kind of dress rehearsal. Here he comes. It's in that time. 2 straight, Trevor.
Yeah, Hesp would have been delighted to see that one curling directly at him, and all he had to do was cling on to it, and he did that relatively well.
Well, he had to clutch it, hadn't he? I mean, the vultures were coming down on him. Davor, Šuker and Mijatović. A little bit careless on that far side. That's a dangerous ball. Well, they're having to kind of look at the way he's pointed there, Amor, as if to say, now mark more closely this time at this corner kick. Guillermo Amor, the man who got rid of that ball, been with the club since 1988. Oh, that's beyond Hesp, and I think we put that down as a goalkeeping error, as Hierro came up to that.
Again, it's good quality from Davor Šuker. It's drilled into the goal, but to be honest, the goalkeeper should have at least got his hand to that and palmed the ball out of play, or pushed it away. And Hierro nearly got himself a goal.
Well, I think the goalkeeper, Ruud Hesp, is betraying a lack of conviction. Just a little unsure of himself in there. Probably can hardly believe he's playing in this game in the first place.
Well, it's an incredible step for him to come from Roda. Okay, they've done exceptionally well last season, but really this is a step up. You know, three or four times over, and it's going to take him a while to get his confidence, I would imagine.
Well, Amor thinks that was a bit of an act there by Roberto Carlos. Amor, by the way, is season campaigner. He won the Campeonato Cup with Johan Cruyff. There he is in the Spanish international side, a real workhorse of a player. Can occasionally come up and score useful goals. That's a nice little ball in from Sergi, giving it away though. Giovanni left for dead in midfield, and the play at the moment seems to be sweeping past Clarence Seedorf on the right-hand side of the field. We really haven't seen him, Trevor.
No, we haven't. Louis van Gaal is employing him on the right-hand side of midfield, and he doesn't seem to be able to get into the game from there.
Well, that was positive enough. Figo is making much of it. And the referee Went right across to Figo there. Watch the tackle. He went in for the ball, and I certainly feel that Roberto Carlos knew that he was ultimately going to make contact with him, Trevor, but it was a ball first.
Yeah, to be fair, that was a good challenge, and they always say if a fullback can get the ball first and take the man as well, well, why not do it? And he did it in exemplary fashion there.
Excellent play again by Sergi. Look, a little 1-2 being played by Sonny Anderson, just a little bit tight, and that's good play. Well, I think a very quick cut there to Figo. Looks as if he's went over on his ankle. But delightful play just in front of goal. It's pity we can't see that replay again. On he comes. Might have been a little bit of play acting there.
I don't think there was any danger that he wasn't going to be back on the field. I think he felt it from Carlos, but it was no more than that.
Guardiola. Another wild ball forward by Sergi. Sergi, who started off life as very much an attacking left-sided player, left winger, and then brought further and further back. One of the local boys on the side, like Guardiola. Seedorf. Looked as if he carried it out, and he did. Just taking it a little bit too far. There was a rumor, Trevor, and I wondered if this does affect players, that in actual fact Barcelona were interested in buying him.
Well, who knows? A
very strong story in the newspapers.
Yeah, that could be the case. You know, there may be something on his mind, but I don't think he's comfortable with the position that he's playing. But Louis van Gaal knows him better than anybody else, I suppose, and he feels he can play out there.
That's a lovely ball to Šuker, his favourite side. Well, Zé Roberto was trying to give him a little bit of help. There he is again, Zé Roberto. Wants to go to the outside, that's good play. There's the shot and blocked brilliantly. Giovanni had come back, got right in the way. Well, a little bit of width there helped out.
Good play there from Real Madrid, wasn't it? It was Zé Roberto actually had a great chance. Šuker had the first chance and couldn't take it, but better stuff from Real Madrid.
Lengthy legs there of Rivaldo is brought down. The tackle just that little bit late. Hierro. I don't know, I think there was a bit of a dive before the leg went out, Trevor.
Yeah, there was no attempt, though, I think, from Hierro to play the ball, and Rivaldo knew he was running into three players, so he thought he'd hit the ground anyway, but gives Barcelona a chance just outside the goal.
We're halfway through the first half. Still no scoring on the night. Barcelona leading by 2-1 on aggregate. Flying leap there by Roberto Carlos. Figo. No, Figo has the skill to take on Roberto Carlos, but the recovery pace of Roberto Carlos is, I think, the saving grace in that duel, and I think he'll get the better of Figo unless Figo wanders away from him. Broke that up very well. Panucci down. Look at Šuker. Wonderful control with the one side. Gets it to the left hand. Mijatović going inside and touched away again. Amor getting back. Trying to put it down the left-hand side.
Fantastic play from Šuker. He had an incredible first touch on the ball, and then he made a fantastic pass out to Mijatović, but you could hear the crowd's reaction to his first-time control.
Well, there Panucci tackled there, and here he is on the left-hand side again. It's Raúl this time. Oh, brilliant little touch by Raúl on the outside, and I think there might be an appeal for a penalty. Well, Trevor, it looked to me as if he was taken from the bag just before he tried to strike.
Well, you'd like to think that was a penalty. It was just about to draw his foot back, and there was a challenge from a Barcelona defender. Put him right off his stride and ended up on the floor, but look at his reward for it. He gets himself booked, and Madrid end up getting the corner, but this was fantastic footwork.
Now that was Mijatović with them, and here, well...
I think that was Amor there. I think he just got himself in there, didn't he?
But you know, he was impeded.
I think so, but...
He was impeded, and the referee is coming over. I think it's Panucci who's down there. And here we go again with this. Now, Mijatović just wanted to get out of the way. He was impeded. I don't think anybody... He seemed to drive his foot against the defender more than anything else. And it looks as if Panucci will take no further part in this game, which is a great pity. The Italian international just being escorted off. It was that last tackle involved with Rivaldo. And off he has to go. We'll wait and see if they are going to make an immediate substitution. It doesn't look as if he wants to come back again. That's the scoreline. Just under 20 minutes remaining of this first half. And that's a bad corner kick, and that's very surprising. I think, all the same, Trevor, they've been trying the near post corner most of the time.
Yeah, it's definitely the one that they like to use. And to be quite honest, I think Šuker was having a go at scoring there, to be honest. He knows that Hesp was not particularly convincing in the air, and he's been trying to steal half a yard at times, and maybe on that occasion he was just trying to put the ball directly into the net.
Nicely brought down by Rivaldo, who's beginning to come away from the touchline just a little bit more. Sergi just behind him. Bad ball forward. Sonny Anderson had drifted to the left, back by Giovanni. That is spread it wide to Figo now. What can he do in this challenge? He does have that. That's the recovery pace of Roberto Carlos I'm talking about, Trevor.
Yeah, if he gets past Carlos, he's done exceptionally well. He's got to try and change it a little bit, make him get off balance, bring him inside for a change.
Well, look at the ball was being held up, and there's free kick. Looked to me as if Giovanni was backing into the player, then Roberto Carlos telling him in no uncertain manner. Well, on he comes again, Panucci. Glad to see that. He looked at first as if he was resigned to the fact that he wouldn't come back. Looks as if he's limping slightly, nevertheless. That's the free kick count, which isn't at all surprising. Well, you can hear the cheerleader whipping up support for Panucci. Now, Guardiola is very good at free kicks. Normally, he's very accurate at putting the ball onto the head of players inside the box. There it is to the far post. Oh, it's over. That was a great chance. Giovanni. And I think he might have been surprised, Trevor, he got this ball in the first place.
Well, it was a tremendous ball in. I thought it maybe just been overhit there. But what an opportunity. It was brilliantly knocked back there.
Sonny Anderson it was. He just touched it back to him.
Anderson had no right to get his foot on that ball, and Giovanni's missed a sitter, to be quite honest. But you say he was probably under shock, you know, when the ball came back to him.
It was a very quick ball to take. He's not a noted striker in the box, Giovanni. He's more the player who likes to run into the box from outside, and he's got a powerful shot. And if that had fallen to Sonny Anderson in reverse, I think it would have got into the back of the net. He was injured a lot last season, Sonny Anderson, or his goal tally of 51 goals in 3 seasons would have been very much amplified. Scored 16. He was a top goal scorer 2 seasons ago in French football. But this is a different dimension for him. Seedorf just getting in there. Well, Clan Seedorf is a moody kind of player, so moody he fell out with his manager Gus Hiddink during Euro 96. Never really got going again in Dutch football and for a while, and then he was brought back into the side for the World Cup qualifiers and scored one of the best goals of the tournament so far against Belgium. So he's got it in him, but he seems to be hiding in this game on the far side.
I think you do need involvement, you know, in the game, and he does struggle to get involved there. He's obviously a quality player. You know, Sampdoria, he was an exceptional player, I thought, and obviously at Ajax as well. But I don't think that's a position for him, and I think he's going to struggle if he's got to play the season there.
That's Mijatović talking about goal scoring. 28 goals in 95-96 as Spain's Footballer of the Year. There he goes down when he was playing for Valencia, who have never forgiven him his transfer to Real. That's Seedorf coming towards the edge of the penalty area now, and a free kick in a very dangerous position.
Well, that was Mijatović being fouled there, and you might guess who it was by. It was Ferrer, who is Mijatovic's shadow for this evening, and a bit of a dive, to be quite honest. But again, it gives Roberto Carlos the opportunity to thump one from 30 yards.
Well, he's had 2 efforts. First one very wild indeed, and the second one too directly on target, straight to the goalkeeper. But he can bend him all kinds of ways. Somebody said to me that his free kick against France in the tournoi de France defied the laws of physics.
I think this is literally from the exact same angle as that goal was scored.
Well, Šuker's there as well, and the referee, watch Guardiola, he seemed to concentrate on the ball and standing close to it. Oh, he steps over it this time just to vary it a little, and it ends up innocuously. Panucci in there. Well, you know, that's a difficult ball for any goalkeeper to take.
Oh, that's a good ball in there from Panucci. It was unexpected as well. Put it in towards the goalkeeper with his left foot, but the goalkeeper, to be fair to him, did very well and picked it up cleanly.
Oh, great play. Roberto Carlos. Oh, he wanted the ball played back to Mijatović, just delaying it slightly. There's Šuker, what's the control like? Brilliant as usual. There's a shot by Seedorf. Wild, wild shot by Seedorf there. There's so much out of this game. Well, he was set up there, and I don't know, he just seems to have lost his appetite for this game.
Preceding that, Mijatović and Šuker combined exceptionally well again to give Seedorf the opportunity.
Well, that's more like Seedorf, but he was taken out of the play. Don't think there's any doubt about that. Another yellow card. Well, they're coming fast and furious. Sergi this time. Abelardo, I beg your pardon. Abelardo. And there we go, down the outside. And he's complaining. So, free kick. Well, Panucci playing the free kicks from the wide here. He's usually very good at them, doesn't get any height in that at all.
Yeah, he'll know he's got to miss the first man. He committed the cardinal sin there. Had his forwards waiting for the ball in the box, and he couldn't deliver it.
Panucci played that well. Roberto had gone across the outside now. They fan out, that's a poor ball forward by Rivaldo. Just gobbled up there by Hierro. Really piling into the play. This is Raúl having a quietish game, apart from that little move he had, which really, in my view, ought to have produced a penalty. Zé Roberto, look at the cluster of players, and he can't get it through. Well, he really is in the thick of things, Ferrer. Another free kick coming from him, and he must now be risking a sending off.
Well, it's a difficult one for the referee now. There's that many little infringements going on, and pushing and shoving and all the rest of it. But to be quite honest, Ferrer was totally innocent in that occasion, but the referee's given a foul against him.
Free kick in there, right in the middle. Raúl.
You just want to put this right on top of the goalkeeper and give him a few headaches.
Just brought down by Šuker. Got the corner kick out of it. You know, he's quite a tall man, Šuker, but he has this wonderful poise in the box, even though he seems to be squeezed out at times.
He's an exceptionally skillful player, but he is a tall man. But look at him, he's taking all the corners for Real Madrid because he's got the quality on the ball.
That's Šuker dabbing it in, and the goalkeeper somewhere in that melee. He doesn't know where it is, and it's over again. Hierro coming up. Oh no, what an awful mess.
For the life of him, the goalkeeper couldn't get anywhere near it, and he tried 3 times.
A real tumble there by him. Ball virtually just put away anywhere.
The Barcelona defenders claiming that Hesp was pushed, but I don't think that was the case at all. Because there was just too many bodies there, and often you see a referee giving a foul against the goalkeeper for literally no reason, and it was nice to see nothing there.
Real Madrid might regret they cannot take up these half chances they're getting all the same. Well, Roberto Carlos is having an outstanding night. I mean, we know the very dynamic side of Roberto Carlos from free kicks and his runs up the left, but he's also a very good defender.
Without question, he's eager, he's enthusiastic, he's quick. He's got a lot going for him as Roberto Carlos, and I'm sure Real Madrid appreciate what he gives to the side, not only defensively, but going forward he gives them that extra element.
Well, Real Madrid have inserted a £50 million withdrawal clause in his contract, which lasts till 2002. They simply do not want anybody to come and get him, so it'll cost an awful lot of money. Sonny Anderson, that's a triptych of Brazilians down there. 3 Brazilians together: Zé Roberto, Sonny Anderson, Roberto Carlos. Back by Amor. Got away by Panucci. Seedorf. Ball taken away from him. Well, I wonder if Heynckes will make any changes at half-time. I mean, they're trailing by 2-1. He's getting nothing really out of Seedorf.
Yeah, if the first leg is anything to go by, there will be changes. You know, there were numerous changes in the first leg. But whether he sees it that keep his side together maybe for 60 minutes, and if nothing's happening at that point, you know, then bring somebody fresh on and see what difference that can make. But I think you may give them a 15 minutes after the first half.
Seedorf just getting that touch very quickly. Rivaldo almost getting away with it. Zé Roberto, bit of space. There's Šuker with a lovely little back heel, and he expected just a little bit of support from the back. Šuker, again a player who was transferred internally in Spain from Seville, the Croatian international. Hasn't scored as many goals as he did at Seville. He was always in the top 3 goal-scoring lists, and wasn't even in the top 5 last season. But he's a supplier of passes as well, as you saw there.
Yeah, he's definitely got an all-round game, and he's worth his weight in gold. He'll produce a lot of things for other players, and Mijatović has responded with a lot of goals last season as well, and you know, it's a fine combination.
That's Guti. Inside it goes. Rivaldo. Sergi's got the pace. Panucci, that was reckless, and no doubt Sergi will make a meal of it. Yellow card. I don't know why Panucci's complaining about it.
Totally reckless challenge, and seems frustrated, and I don't know what was on his mind there, but that was basically just a hack at the player's legs. Thoroughly deserved his yellow card.
I think he's be very fortunate if he stays on the field if he does that again. And I think I saw something being thrown from the crowd there, and we certainly don't want that. We had enough of that in the first game. So 4 yellow cards altogether. 3 Real, 1 Barcelona. As Abelardo decided to come up. Look at the pushing and the jostling inside the box. Easily away there. Raúl, in fact, everybody had come back. Barca finding it difficult to break down that defense, and so many attacks coming from this man picking the ball up. Almost comes off there and knocked back once again to Hesp. Well, he seems to have got his coolness back, Trevor.
Yeah, he was put under a lot of pressure there, and take your hat off to him. He didn't panic.
I don't think his main fault is playing the ball with his feet. It seems to be cross balls he's not too happy with. Pushing there on Rivaldo by Guti. Barcelona have plenty of time on the ball at the back. Rivaldo again picking a lot up, and he saw the goalkeeper out of his goal. He's a two-footed player, Rivaldo. I think his left foot is probably better. But he saw him out and had a quick go at it. Well, Karanka hasn't been greatly tried at the back this time. Ball hasn't been played all that often to right up front to Sonny Anderson. Well, Figo's the man who was involved in that astonishing wrestling match between the clubs 3 seasons ago, when 3 clubs thought he had signed a contract for him. Almost went to the European Court of Law before they got things sorted out. He just got away with it. Plenty of space to this right-hand side, and give it away now. Danger every time the ball is played to this left-hand side. Zé Roberto. Mijatović gets away. That could be a nice ball. Roberto Carlos, first touch, letting him down this time, and that'll be a free kick. It has been hard and intense between these two, and Figo wanting to take the law into his own hands rather foolishly.
Yeah, the duel between these two is hotting up, and spent most of the first half fouling each other, to be quite honest, and there was another one. Roberto Carlos actually let himself down with his first touch when the ball came from Mijatović, and made up for it with a bad foul.
And the referee just simply indicating that he's keeping a very close eye on what's happening out there. Guardiola likes to make space for himself. He's not the quickest man in the world, but his positioning and his passing of the ball are ample compensations for that. Lovely player to watch, but he's being harassed at this moment by Real. Game very evenly balanced. That's a decent ball inside. It could be, yes! Raúl! That's what they think about it. The most penetrating pass of the game. 3 minutes from the end of the first half. Beautifully controlled, wonderfully manipulated, and a great finish. Trevor.
Superb run from Raúl. Came from midfield, and you could see him making the run. The Barcelona defence actually stood relatively still, allowed him to make the run, but the ball through to him was so good. Fantastic ball. There he is. He's making his run, set off with perfect timing. The ball's right into his path, but this is the important bit. A good first touch, cool as you like, and it's 1-0 to Madrid.
Astonishing that this lad walked into Real Madrid and asked for a game when he was originally on the books of Atletico Madrid. Jesus Gil, the chairman, decided to scrap the youth policy. He had nowhere to go, and he ended up here, and at moments like that, in front of the Bernabéu.
I think Raúl will be the first one to appreciate the ball there from Karanka. Absolutely inch perfect.
A lot of pushing and jostling and going about it, the referee eventually having to sort it out. So the aggregate score now 2-2. And of course Real have the advantage of that away goal. So you could say at the moment the trophy is theirs. Well, the whole second half to come, and a very exciting one, and you're watching it live on Eurosport. We'll be here even if it goes to penalties. And that's a possibility as Seedorf gets behind it. Seedorf, this seems to have awakened him in some form or other, and that just touched away. There will be some stoppage time of that, I'm sure. Barcelona looking rattled at this stage. Well, that looked like a free kick to me, Trevor. Very subtly taken.
There have been many free kicks given for the likes of that, and referee decided to let that one go for some reason.
Figo. Not enough in it. Hierro was back there. Roberto Carlos hard in again. No, Zé Roberto. Here he is. Going for it, and he dived himself, I'm sure. The referee stops the play. Way go Real. I think the referee wants that retaken. And oh dear, Guardiola, I think, is overreacting. It's getting very untidy and scrappy, and it really doesn't say very much for these two celebrated clubs with players niggling. Look at the two Brazilians at it as well. At least they know each other's language. I'm sure the language is pretty lurid between them as well.
Well, who would be a referee on a night like tonight? I mean, to be honest, I think Šuker, to be honest, he put his foot on the ball, tripped over it, and then fell into the Barcelona player. But the referee's having to make decisions all the time, and this is a difficult thing.
Well, there was a little sly dig there, but I must say that Guardiola went down as if hit by a heavyweight boxer. I think Roberto Carlos has now calmed down. This is turning out to be an ugly game. Zé Roberto, and I think yellow card for Figo. No, he's not a dirty player, Figo. You know, it's some of the most skillful players, when it gets a bit rough, are the casualties of these moments. Just
all the challenges that are going in at the moment, they just look untidy, and they're not particularly vicious. Nobody's coming off with any great injuries. It's bad timing, and you could say deliberate bad timing as well, mate.
Zé Roberto trying to push it forward. And there goes the half-time whistle. Well, Real Madrid against Barcelona, when you mention these two clubs coming together, you think of a celebration and a festival of football. Well, it very often can be. We've had little glimmers of it, but mostly we've seen the other face of this fixture. And sometimes it can be like that as well. Very negative, some very hard tackles, a lot of yellow carding. And here we watch this magnificent ball, Trevor.
Superb ball from Karanka. Karanka couldn't have played that ball without the run from Raúl, so you know, one thing supported the other, but the finish was excellent.
And that's the only goal of this untidy and ugly first half, as I've said. And perhaps the better elements of football will surface in the second half, but it is very competitive. Welcome back to the Bernabéu and Real Madrid against Barcelona. This is Archie McPherson. I have beside me Trevor Stephen, former England international with club experience, of course, very wide over Europe with Marseille, Everton and Glasgow Rangers. I've been talking about the ugly nature of this game thus far, but never lacking interest.
Yeah, you could say there was always something happening in the game, and didn't see a great deal of great football, I don't think, but certainly saw both teams having the appetite for the challenge. And Louis van Gaal, he'll have his men stirred up for the second half, there's no doubt about that. With a super run, but the Barcelona defence had the numbers there to deal with it, but just nobody took the responsibility to pick Raúl's run up, and that's why they find themselves 1-0 down.
Boy, with the ball there, just flicking it up is Guti, who looks remarkably like Redondo. But haven't seen too much of a Guti in this game. Defence is have been, apart from the long high balls which have bothered Barcelona and Hesp, the defenses have been very well organized, especially the man who made that pass, that wonderful pass, Karanka, for the only goal of the game. So about to start this second half. Sonny Anderson there, two Brazilians together, Giovanni, and I think just hesitating ever so slightly, catching our television director out there with the clock starting, and I think one or two missiles thrown onto the field, so the referee quite rightly making sure that they're cleared first before the play gets underway. Well, that's not unexpected given what we saw in the first half and the rather hostile welcome for Barcelona.
Yeah, let's hope it doesn't develop into something more serious. It's certainly something we don't want to see, but I say it could be a bit of retaliation from what happened in the Nou Camp 3 nights ago.
Let me remind you, if you're just joining us, someone threw a very heavy lighter at Roberto Carlos. Right on the skull he got it. He was lucky he wasn't more seriously damaged. They've been trying to pacify everybody since then. Ball touched forward there rather tentatively by Barcelona at the moment. Ferrer, back by this very impressive player Rivaldo. If we see anything of Rivaldo in the second half as we did in the first game, then you'll see an entirely different player. I think Louis van Gaal told him to wake it up, get it more forward. He has an explosive action. He wasn't using it enough in the first game until later on. But at least Barcelona getting a feel of the ball again. Plenty time on it, Abelardo. Ferrer inside. Rivaldo. Very cautious opening. The ball given badly away by Ferrer. Seedorf. And there by Mijatović. There he is again, a very determined player. Wonderful understanding he has with Šuker, finding him like that.
What you see there is Mijatović picking the ball up in midfield and immediately looking for those runs. Šuker sees Mijatović with the ball and he just sets off because he knows he's going to get the ball.
That's Mijatović back again. Panucci. Got a ball inside. Šuker, then it's driven forward. Zé Roberto comes in and steals the ball. There's no offside here. And the two players put each other off, and Šuker, well, they kiss and make up.
Yeah, that was nice to see a bit of humour in the whole thing. Šuker was obviously upset. Zé Roberto did exceptionally well there. Was cute enough to see the opportunity on the left-hand side, but it was you first.
Well, you know, I think really what happened there, Trevor, is that Seedorf actually put him off. He was too close to him. He should really have got out of the way. Oh, just beyond Seedorf. Sergi. You can hear what the crowd think about this now as Real knock the ball about confidently. Back it goes to Cañizares. Oh, look at that. Beautifully inside. He can do remarkable things with that left foot of his. You might remember the tremendous game he had against the Danes in Euro 96, scoring a goal and almost scoring from the halfway line at one stage.
Yeah, there he is. Šuker's a really immense player, and so the relationship he has up front with Mijatović is going to be the make or break for Real Madrid again this season.
Well, that ball came surprisingly low to start off with. Real Madrid back in the Champions League. Hierro. Oh, just a little bit too near to the touchline. Figo coming in hard at the back, the Portuguese international, who played very well indeed and scored a goal during the week for his country. Some of the Real substitutes easily away there at the back. Abelardo getting up, letting the ball go. That's Guti. Panucci. Better run forward that time by Seedorf. That's a better ball, and really both of them there. That was first of all Mijatović. Winning it in well. His best goal,
yes. Seedorf actually has come out in the second half and started playing exceptionally well. That was a good ball in. Šuker missed the first one, and Mijatović almost sneaked up on Ferrer.
Got to watch this man, Karanka. Just occasionally comes forward. There's Figo. He's having to backtrack to watch Roberto Carlos. Barcelona got out of that well. Guardiola puts it to the side. Amor, and that's beautifully touched on. Now Rivaldo. Sergi put it inside. There's Guardiola. Figo. Oh, he does it well, and look at Roberto Carlos. Can he cut it back? And it's too straight.
That's the first time.
Trevor Stevens screwing up his face beside me. Couldn't believe a final ball like that.
Yeah, it's the first time he's created an opportunity. We actually had so much time to pick somebody out, and he just couldn't do it in the end. It's put it far too near to the goalkeeper.
Ball easily knocked away. Now, for a man of Figo's class, it was most surprising. I mean, that's one of the most basic moves in the book. Just cut it back from the line. It may well be, Trevor, that he fancied he would take on the goalkeeper and do the opposite.
I'm not quite sure if you could believe the fact that he'd actually got past Roberto Carlos quite comfortably. It's the first time in the game, as I said before there, and that'll have given him at least some confidence to go into the second half with.
It seemed to me that Roberto Carlos gave up because he feared giving away a penalty kick. That might have been part of it as well.
Without any contact there, it would have been a penalty.
So just over 6 minutes of this second half, still only one goal in it. And if the aggregate stayed like this, Real Madrid would win the Super Cup with that away goal. Ferrer, Guardiola, well backed up there. Reiziger at the back. Michael Reiziger got on a free transfer from Milan. No rush in there. Reiziger actually has been very solid at the back. As I said, he was on a free transfer from Milan. Had a very bad year with them. Some people saying that he cost Milan the place in the Champions League with some of his very bad errors. So he got out of there. There he is. I wouldn't discount Barcelona yet, though.
No, without question. They've still got an opportunity in this game, and I'm sure Louis van Gaal will not let his team sit back at any stage. You know, I think he's always going to be compared as well with Bobby Robson, who won this particular competition last season. And if Louis van Gaal gets off to a start where he loses the Super Cup, then the pressure will mount again, and they've got the Champions League game to come up as well. So you know, the pressure is mounting if he doesn't get the result tonight.
Free kick, there's Rivaldo, watched it to his left foot. Well, he had the opportunity to put it with his right. He is two-footed, but he does hit the ball better with his left. Roberto Carlos, he almost got away. That's Amor giving him an affectionate pat.
Yeah, we saw 30 of those tackles in the first half and continuing into the second.
Panucci coming forward. Ex-Genoa, ex-Milan player. That's trying to push that forward to Mijatović. Now playing his international football as a Montenegrin for Yugoslavia. One of the most improved national sides. Really have come on in 1 year, the transformation in Yugoslavian football. And I think because they have this lurking threat of Mijatović up front. Zé Roberto, that's a beautiful ball. It's offside. Look at the player beside him. It's there. His second goal, Raúl. And now Barcelona look as if this game might be going out of their sight after a brilliant ending by this superb young player who hasn't been involved all that much in midfield but pops up at the right time.
Absolutely marvellous. Prior to this, Mijatović on the halfway line, got it through to Zé Roberto, slipped it into Raúl, and he had all to do there. On the edge of the box, a great finish with his left foot. So he certainly wasn't favoured to score, but he took it with really great aplomb.
I wonder if it passed through his mind just to touch it to the side.
Defenders were closing on him. Again, it was his first touch, which was so good. And if he hadn't struck it then, the opportunity was lost.
And out they come to celebrate an excellent goal there, just 10 minutes into this half. 2 goals for Raúl. And now it's 3-2 on aggregate. And Barcelona are really up against it. But of course, they could come back into it with a goal of their own. Looking pretty feckless at the moment. Just wonder if there's also a little question mark to be placed against the goalkeeper there.
Yeah, maybe a little bit harsh to criticise him because the ball did end up in the inside side netting, so it was a good finish. The thing that Raúl did do there, he hit the ball early, and goalkeepers don't like that. They can't get themselves set up for the shot, and it was a clinical finish. But to be honest, the situation hasn't really changed for Barcelona. They still need to score a goal, and if they get it, you know, the game's only at a drawn stage, and things continue, but they still need to score.
Here's Figo. Back by Rivaldo. Sergi. Caught in 2 minds there. Rivaldo trying to bustle his way through. Zé Roberto, the better of them. And there's little doubt that this Real Madrid have had a new lease of life as a result of that. And it looks as if Amor is coming off, and Siric is coming in for Amor. Number 16, Siric. He is a Serbian in the Yugoslavian squad. And he's played for Yugoslavia, of course. And getting his first touch of the ball there. There's Figo. That was a very fair shoulder charge. Look at the way that Roberto Carlos looks at him. Bends down there. Back by Mijatović. And now the 2 players that are opposing each other, both in the Yugoslav squad. Mijatović with a lovely little break again. Can Seedorf put it away? Yes! That's the third. Mijatović. The Montenegrin makes it 3-0. And they feel it could be all over. It is if they don't let him up. Trevor.
Yeah, I wouldn't like to be at the bottom of that rock. But that, I think, must be it now. Seedorf made a good run. That's what he needs to do more often than he has done previously in the game. But Mijatović won't get an easier chance than that.
All credit to Mijatović, though, because he didn't give up and stand watching his pass forward. He's a bit of a scorer himself, of course.
Exactly, full credit to him. You know, he did create the pass there.
So the man who was Footballer of the Year in Spain a year ago, or a couple of years ago, with the top scorer of the year, 28 goals, now back in form. He's played 26 internationals now for Yugoslavia, and in that time scored 10 goals. So Real Madrid are blessed with that exciting scoring trio. 3-0 up, and Šuker hasn't had what you might call a clear chance at goal.
No, but he can cause problems in other ways by the runs and the movement that he has. But you know, this is danger territory now for Barcelona, because this could end up a rout if they don't get their act together really sharply.
Walked in well. There's Figo trying to drift forward. Figo could put it away. Oh, it's a brilliant save. Cañizares coming right out to that. No wonder, Trevor, if they just put a little bit too much work in the ball here.
Yeah, Figo did exceptionally well. Giovanni was the man who had the chance and basically just missed it. Maybe a little bit of over-elaboration. I thought Giovanni's save might have been offside, but no. But a great save from Cañizares, spread himself well.
Well, they badly needed a goal there to bring them back into a possible chance. With Sergi going forward, running out of options now. Clarence Seedorf remaining cool, as does Hierro. Seedorf. Oh, the play goes on. I thought he might have been fouled there eventually. Oh, brilliant play, as so many players coming up in front of Hierro there. But I get the impression again, Trevor, that Barcelona realize they're up against it, that they're going forward now. They know what they have to do.
Yeah, they're pushing forward now, you know, but it's taken them a long time to get to this point. They know they've got to score, and they've got to score quickly.
Figo was doing all that. Siric, Figo. Onto the ball, played back to, trying to get that to Rivaldo. Seedorf going forward, Sergi running out of support. He eventually gets it away. Well, they're trying to play it wide, and they have the ability on either side to make it dangerous for Real. That's about 17 minutes gone in this second half. What a different game it would have been if Giovanni had put that ball away. Giovanni, who scored 2 goals in one of the Super Cup games last season. Well, I don't think Real Madrid will object too much to the ball being played about like this by Barcelona. Or Figo, as I said, he makes up for a lack of pace with a lovely balance, and he does able to change his pace a great deal. Look at Mijatović going into the box, and he can't get it through to him, Šuker. But so dangerous on the break. Sergi's getting more and more into this. Sonny Anderson giving it away far too easily. Look at the play of Raúl. Hasn't got involved in midfield all that much. Well, Real Madrid, of course, have a wonderful record against Barca. Never lost against them in a Super Cup final. Šuker just allowed that to drift away. Too much for him. Well, there might be more substitutions coming up here. It looks to me like Jaime is coming on. Guti going off, and Jaime comes on. Quesada Jaime. He was with the better squad that won the Spanish, was in the final of the Spanish Cup against Barcelona. It's a pretty tough player, well suited for this game. He was sent off 3 times season before last. Really does get involved in midfield, central midfield player, mostly a kind of defensive midfield player. Oh, Seedorf turning it on now, delicate skills. He really can't play, he just didn't seem up to it in that first half. Zé Roberto trying to chase in. Well, the Madrileños are beginning to celebrate, maybe just a little bit prematurely. You never know in these games. Almost 20 minutes gone in the second half. That's another beautiful ball inside to Seedorf. He'll make it, yes. He really misses chances like that. Clarence Seedorf, who had such a modest first half, really does win this cut for Real. I doubt very much, Trevor, Barcelona caught out again, so flat, can come back from that.
Well, you just made the point, Archie, that Seedorf has been playing like a man possessed in the second half. A totally different player from what he was showing in the first half, indeed. Mijatović once again threading the ball through. Seedorf's run was impeccably timed. If you look at it here, he just dummied for a second, saw the gap, went for it. Mijatović was on the same wavelength. Again, inch perfect. It's another clinical finish, and I was saying before there that this could get really ugly for Barcelona if they don't get their act together, and that's 4-0 now.
Well, I don't think they'll want a result like this. A heavy defeat before they play in that vital Champions League qualifying game. Well, quite frankly, the defense looks a shambles at times, and that's what Louis, look at him. Oh, somebody's going to get it when they get in at the end of that game. He doesn't suffer fools gladly, that man. Free kick at the other end.
He's a little bit late for his notebook.
He is indeed. That's too much in that. Well, Barcelona haven't really tested Santiago Cañizares all that much. That's Dugarry, I think, beginning to prepare to come on. And Dugarry, well, Dugarry is very much a forward-going player. So do you think going through Louis van Gaal's man, he might just maybe put a bit of complexion on the score or not?
Well, I think he's just going to give him a run out, actually, just give him a feel for the Bernabéu and this sort of fixture, because Barcelona are well and truly out of it. I think just giving Dugarry just a bit of a taster of this sort of competition.
Well, knowing the great rivalry and the intense hatred of one set of supporters for the other, and the desire of the players to satisfy their support, there is absolutely no way that Real Madrid are going to be putting the foot on the brake. They're after blood, in the best possible sense of the word. Exactly halfway through the second half. As I mentioned, never been beaten by Barca. Play goes on, look at the long run again there by Seedorf, the corner again. He'll let fly. Well, it's now becoming stereotyped.
They're picking holes at will in the Barcelona defence, and again Seedorf is doing exceptionally well. He's making diagonal runs and direct runs, and he's being picked out every time.
So Christian Dugarry about to come on, the man who came to the attention. Sonny Anderson going out. came to the attention and playing in the French league for Bordeaux in that marvellous victory they had over Milan when he scored 2 great goals. Off he went to Inter and then back now. Never really made it in Serie A. And Sonny Anderson, who certainly hasn't impressed tonight, has he?
If you compare the two front pairings, Mijatović and Šuker and Rivaldo and
well, Giovanni up front along with him.
Yeah, it just hasn't worked, has it? It's been a total a mismatch, if you like, and they haven't had the service, of course, that Madrid have had, and I say, look at Seedorf popping up on the left-hand side, where he was totally pigeonholed on the right-hand side in the first half.
There's Rivaldo again, tries to get it to the left foot, and that wasn't very far away. Now, I think it's perfectly obvious that that's what he wants to shoot with, and they tried to push him away from it, but he wriggled into clear space that time. Well, we've heard that song before. You've heard it yourself, Trevor, haven't you?
Yeah, luckily several times. Yeah, could never get sick of that one.
Well, at the Spanish Cup final, when Trevor and I were there, it was noticeable Barcelona playing in Real Madrid Stadium, that in the Real Madrid shop, a sign suddenly appeared, a huge sign with 6 feet tall letters, Real Madrid Campeones, rubbing it in. Šuker. Tried to come up from behind Šuker, and Raúl almost feeding him that little back heel.
You must wonder now if Louis van Gaal is thinking about changing his tactics. He's employing the Ajax type tactics here with the three defenders, 4 in the middle and 3 up front, and the players here just cannot cope with that. So you wonder if he's going to go back to a back 4 system that perhaps the players are more comfortable with, because he's got some important games coming up, and the players really need to be happy with the way that they're going to be playing.
That was Silic, youngster taking it in his stride. Well, I must say, Van Gaal seems reposed enough. Maybe he feels games like this a part of his settling in and his own personal learning process, because even though he has won the world title for himself, he's in a new environment.
I'm sure he's going to claim that that's the case now, but there'll be no more disappointed man than himself than you know, to watch his team getting pulled apart like this.
Well, that was the Jaime. I did say they'd been sent off 3 times a couple of seasons ago. Doesn't take prisoners, does he? Ooh, coming in from the back. Treated his back like a drum there. Giovanni. Barcelona have simply looked predictable going forward, Trevor.
Yeah, fairly slow, and we said early on actually that Real Madrid were prepared to hit the long ball forward, and they have been doing that, but they've also been playing some superb passes from the likes of Mijatović, and totally deserve this lead that they have at the moment.
So Victor coming on, can this be laid to the side? Rivaldo with it again, and he tries from an almost impossible angle. Absolutely no chance, I think, of putting that away. That would have been miraculous. So there we are, there's a substitution being made. Victor coming on, and off goes Šuker. He's played his part. I think that very experienced manager, Heynckes, realizes that they really would have to crumble very badly to throw this cup away.
I'm sure he feels that they're in a very secure position. I mean, that's blatantly obvious. Šuker's had a superb match, and I was giving Victor a chance to have a run around and see if he can get his name on the score sheet.
That was Ferrer, and that looked like a bookable offence again. It's already been booked, though. I don't think he wants to send him off. The referee, I suppose, has that option at his disposal.
That, of course, would be a nightmare scenario now for Barcelona if a player was to be sent off.
Well, they're doing virtually nothing now. Seem very deflated. Building it slowly from the back. Reiziger. Well, the Madrileños again, the sound of Guantanamera being sung to their own words, which is again a song of triumph over Barcelona. That's a free kick. You felt that was eventually going to come. Been quite hard on him. It's Rivaldo. Trouble is they don't have a Roberto Carlos on their side.
Yeah, I think we'll see Rivaldo have a go at this one. Worth having a good goal direct from there.
Just trying to measure this up. Anything more than 4, Trevor, would be an absolute disaster for his bill. Oh, right round the side. Just about to say that 4 is hardly bearable. 5 is torture. So they were trying to pull one back there, and well enough taken.
Yeah, I think it would feel better if they could get a consolation goal at least, because this really is a drubbing. But there's time yet for Real Madrid to add to the 4 goals that they've scored.
Raúl drifting to the side again. Raúl. Rivaldo getting the better of him. A little bit unsure of himself there. Figo has come back very deep. He's being the substitute. Seedorf on that far side has come back very deep. It's a better ball inside against Zé Roberto. Well, he had the option of just dabbing it in front. Decided to go for goal himself.
Superb ball from Seedorf there, right into Zé Roberto's path. He had to hit it again early because he was being closed down by 3 defenders.
Just about 14 minutes remaining. (5-2) in aggregate. And that's a heavy enough defeat, I suppose you would say. That's Dugarry coming back there. But Trevor, it does look totally disorganized.
Must be very, very worrying for Louis van Gaal sitting there looking at this, because when you're conceding that amount of goals, you think to yourself, well, we're doing something drastically wrong. And to be quite blatant about it, the Barcelona defenders look unhappy with the system that they're playing. I also don't think that they're getting a great deal of confidence from the goalkeeper that they have at the moment. And I think that's always essential, to have a good relationship between your back players and your goalkeeper.
And Rivaldo quite outnumbered there, as he's been so often in the game, and Seedorf suddenly transformed, as we've been saying, in the second half. I think Heynckes must have been asking him if he was actually playing out there in the first half. Whatever, he's had a great performance out of him. Just a little bit too obvious, that long pass there. Long, hard season to come, not just for both clubs, but for all the players. With the World Cup year, Figo will very much be figuring, and that's another free kick, and Hierro concedes the point with grace. Back to the blackboard, I'm afraid, Trevor.
Yeah, I think the Barcelona players might find themselves in early tomorrow morning.
So, free kick. Lining up here, well, we have Guardiola can bend them in a little bit. And Rivaldo, who might go for it again. Both of them hovering over it. It is Guardiola, in fact. And a rather innocuous finish. Thoughtful player, but always felt he lacked a little bit of bite and whip and enthusiasm about his play. A rather studied, posing kind of footballer.
Yeah, I think the word used there is enthusiasm, and he doesn't sort of give that off in great amounts, but good play nonetheless.
Oh, that's a free one. It must be, yes, they pulled one back. Giovanni, totally uncovered, slackness for the first time in the Real defense. It's 4-1, but oh dear, a little bit too late.
Yeah, simple enough goal. It was just everybody standing still, literally, in the Madrid defence. Giovanni took it very well. One touch onto the chest and slammed it into the bottom corner.
I think early in the game they might have been fastening onto him much quicker than that.
Yeah, without question. It's become a little bit relaxed in there. And, you know, when you're 4 goals to the good, then these things happen. But Madrid will be disappointed.
Oh dear.
He must be thinking Giovanni could score that, but he couldn't score the one in the first half.
It's almost as if he's saying, well, where did that come from? Seedorf. Roberto Carlos, touch of flamboyance off him there. Rivaldo going for it again. Referee rightly waving play on. Cumbersome dash forward there.
He seems to pick the ball up sometimes and just head directly towards goal. It doesn't matter where players are around him, and that must be fairly infuriating for his colleagues.
He's no Ronaldo.
No, certainly not.
Just about 9 minutes remaining. I think he could trouble certain defences, though. I mean, if he bustles around, surely, Trevor, something comes off him, some other little bit and piece for another player. Sanchez is now coming on for Zé Roberto. Sanchez now on for the remainder of this game, of which there's just about 8 minutes left. Yes, I think Real Madrid will want another one here. Guardiola. Likes to play the simple pass, Guardiola. Siric on the far side. A little bit of confusion between the two Real defenders there eventually. See Roberto Carlos using the outside of the foot that time to try and thread it through. Sergi, obviously told to attack a little bit more in the second half. As I said, he started off life in any case as a traditional left winger. Barcelona not fielding Luis Enrique and Amuniki tonight. Got to remember that. That's better played. Just a little bit too cumbersome eventually. Giovanni trying to go through. Boy, surely the fighting back hard at that. Mijatović is a very physical player, very difficult to dispossess, Trevor.
Oh, he's certainly got an appetite for the game, hasn't he? he battled away for 30 or 40 meters there to keep that run going, and eventually got the free kick.
That was Seedorf, Raúl, Roberto Carlos. All they're doing, knocking the ball about there, and carelessness by Clarence Seedorf. Still remains out of sight for Barcelona. There will be a little stoppage time, but Real Madrid, I think, have drummed out a message to those people watching around Europe, and I'm sure many of their potential opponents in the Champions League will have noted it. Their particular dynamic up front, 3 great goal scorers with a wonderful feel between them, great understanding. I'm not saying they're the perfect team, but they do have attacking fullbacks with the great Roberto Carlos. So they're getting towards a formidable combination, Trevor.
Yeah, they're looking impressive side. They look a complete side, to be quite honest. I don't think there's anything lacking in the team. They've got good midfield, an excellent attacking base there, and they've also defended very well.
Oh, here's a ball through. It's not offside. Well, that was a half-hearted effort, and it's over the bar. Silic from midfield. But look at the run forward here. The player coming from midfield there.
Yeah, well, there was an offside there, but the run actually from Giovanni was well timed, and that's why the referee allowed it to be played on.
Mark you, Giovanni didn't want to hurt himself, did he? I thought he backed off slightly.
Yeah, I think that happens when you fall 1 down. I think your list of priorities comes into place at that stage.
Positive header by Ferrer, and that's free kick very quickly taken to Gary. Cañizares out very quickly. Seedorf. Well, as I said, he may have been affected this week by rumours about Barcelona. His countryman Van Gaal after him for a signing. Because remember, we have Fernando Couto to come into consideration in that defence as well. I don't think he'll add any pace to it, that's for sure.
No, he's not blessed with too much pace, but in fact, he may just be brought in to increase the numbers in defence, I think.
Given away far too easily. Better position there by Giovanni. Well, he has turned out to be a hard man, has he not? Jaime. Winning a lot of ball in midfield. Seedorf drifting away there, and that was overambitious. I think the players this early in the season now, Trevor, might be tiring a little.
Yeah, they'll have a good fitness level anyway, there's no doubt about that, but there'll be 1 or 2% more to come, but not a great deal. But this has been a highly competitive game, a lot of challenges, and if it hadn't been for Barcelona's bad defending, it would have been a lot closer.
Now, I think that was a cynical foul by Hierro. Quite, referee. He knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah, he's got away with several incidents like that, and that was only one of many there. And he puts on the innocent face afterwards, of course, which gets him away with so much.
While Rivaldo, he's disappointed me in this game. That's a quick one taken by Guardiola. Just knocked away, though, and I think tried to slip that to the side.
Games have come scrappy as well. I mean, the scoreline has got a lot to do with it. It's such an unusual scoreline. How often do you see a 3-goal deficit between these two teams?
They're not giving him the ball back. Well, that's a pleasant lady. I don't know what she was offering there, Trevor, but they're not giving him the ball back. Well, the referee getting slightly agitated. Don't know whether she's inviting him up or not. However, they've got the substitution. Bit of pace here. Mijatović again likes to take them on, even by himself. Guardiola almost beaten for pace, and I think he had to foul. Just knocking Mijatović away. Mijatović, when he went back to play in Valencia for Yugoslavia, was booed every time he touched the ball. This game I remember at Eurosport last season, largely because they felt he was a traitor at having gone behind. So they said Valencia's back to sign or do a deal with Real Madrid well in advance of an actual signing. Now, will he finish the game with an explosion?
I think the crowd are looking for the icing on the cake here, and if Carlos hits one, that'll be it. Here he goes.
And it goes, and it's not far away. Listen to that echo in the background. It's almost like somebody breaking the sound barrier when he hits one in the Bernabéu.
He wasn't far away, was he? Hesp looked very convincing in letting that go, but I didn't think it was far enough away to be that convincing.
He's almost caught in the draft. That's... And the chant of Campione, Campione going round the stadium now. The Super Cup heading yet again for that magnificent trophy room. Well, I've been in that trophy room several times. Actually, at one occasion with the film crew, we knocked down the original European Cup and put a little dent in it. We did apologize. Left the stadium post-haste. And now they're going to add... It's like a Fingal's cave of triumph, that trophy room of theirs. It's sparkling and gleaming, and you actually get entree into it as a special exhibition hall. And now the ole ole chant of the corrida swelling up. Barcelona bogged down as they have been for the last 25 minutes. So, as the referee brings it to an end, referee Dapten Ibanez, Heynckes wins his first trophy as Real's manager. And there's the man who built the base for him, Raúl, 19 years of age. And if anybody thought this is just the Spanish Super Cup, you can see in the body language of these players how important it is to beat the old enemy. Heynckes being besieged by the Milan press. Trevor, not a brilliant game by any means, but looking forward.